So I want to bring up something because I was very interested in what's going on right now, and I'm hearing from all of you because I have the blessing of hearing from most of you outside of our group, not all of you, but I get to talk to you, or you text me, or I get a call, and I wanted to kind of gauge how everybody's doing right now, because what I'm feeling from me personally, and what I believe I'm receiving from everyone out there, is this whole feeling of anxiety building, like something's coming and we don't know what it is. And it's just like, it's hard to describe, but you feel it in your energetic body. How many of you are kind of feeling this out of sorts, or like losing your vibe? That it feels like a lot is coming in and you're not processing it the way that you might have been, let's say, 2 months ago. I don't know how everybody is handling this. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I'm feeling it and I'm hearing it, that the energetic, let's say, solar flares and the energy that's coming into the planet is escalating. It's building. And September, with all of the things that are happening astrologically, are building. And I've been saying it for a while, that my message that I've been receiving is about change. It's about change and change and change. And what and for a long time I was like, okay, what are we talking about? What kind of change? I'm trying to understand, even in myself, through meditation and through prayer, what change is coming, right? And I came to the realization, and I've mentioned it on this class, that this change is a not just a change within ourselves, but a collective change of humanity that we're ushering in. And we all know, all of us that have been awake for a while, that it's kind of like the major purpose of why we're here. Each of us, in our own very unique way, we have awakened to who we really are. Okay. And with that awakening, we have a responsibility. Okay. And we have a responsibility to serve. We have a responsibility to serve, but we can't really do the best work. It's kind of like if you're feeling sick and you have a cold or whatever, and you go to work anyway, not that we do that these days, right? And you go to work anyway, and you're not really at your best, right? You're going through the motions, but you're not really at your best. So translate that into, for example, the symptoms of what we are going through, which is ascension. Okay? We've all, do we understand this term? Some of you may or may not have heard my class, and I looked it up because I have my notes from the classes that I post. And on June 28th, I did a class called 6 Stages of Spiritual Awakening. Okay? Imagine, this was 2020. So we're in 2022. We're way past 2 years in. Okay? And I'm feeling a different sense of what ascension is becoming. And and Tatiana, I'm so glad you're on the call, because astrologically, it would be really great if this is what you study, you could fill us in a little bit, because I've been doing a lot of research on it, on how many things are happening in our planetary realm. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So 3 major planets that affect us on a different level, more than just physically, is Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They're all in very sensitive positions right now. So we have Uranus in Taurus. So that's going to help us elevate our bodies, elevate our senses. A lot of people are going to start discovering their clairs now. And we have Neptune in Pisces, and that's
Your clairs meaning your clairvoyance. Okay, let me just get that clear, because those of you that might not, I've actually did a talk on the clairs.
Mhm.
And thank you, Tatiana. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what clairs are. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. And then Neptune is in Pisces. And something that I've noticed is that there's a lot of a push towards the Aquarian age, the Aquarian age, the Aquarian age, but it takes so long to get from one age to the other. We're in the process of unraveling the Piscean age before we get to the Aquarian age. So
Yes.
we're leaving out that part, that we're leaving that Piscean age, and we need to take something away from that. And the most important thing is compassion.
And what is Piscean age? What is that?
Piscean age was basically like the dark ages. There was a lot of chaos. There was repression of the feminine, and all these things that we're coming out of now.
A
And
lot
also,
of war, a lot of war.
yeah. And
And
then the
we're
last
coming,
thing,
you know how they say that this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius? Well, the dawning has been since the 1960s when Woodstock hit, and it hit hard, right? But now we're like right here. Yes, Mom, go ahead.
It takes 2,000 years to move from one era to another.
Exactly.
The age is the movement from one era into another is tumultuous. It's horrific. It's fantastic, but it is also, like I said, very tumultuous. And it
Yes.
takes years to get into the Aquarian age.
Exactly.
Years, because then it will be 2,000 more years of Aquarian.
Right. Thank you, Mom. So for example, tumultuous is an excellent word. Perfect for what we're feeling. Okay. Perfect for what we're feeling. That's what I'm feeling from a lot of you. Like your lives have gotten a bit tumultuous with occurrences that are pushing you. And this is what I feel. This is planetary. And Tatiana, I want you to pick up where you left off, because I love what you're talking about. Okay. But let me just clarify a moment. So this energy is pushing us in a different direction, in a more peaceful, unified, compassionate world of humanity, because it's time. Okay, it's time. But we're in this energetic vortex that is produced by the planet. Now, let me just, for those of you who may not be into the planets or astrology or that kind of world, okay? Think of the moon, right? Think of the moon. If the moon can affect the tides, if the moon can affect our menstruation, if the moon has that kind of energy and power, which so does the sun. Without the sun, we don't exist. Okay. It's the sun that begins the process of creation, right? And the energy, we know that the sun has energy, correct? So if these two spheres that are part of our realm influence the nature and even our bodies and ourselves that strongly, all the other spheres also do. We just don't know enough about it. And there's people like Tatiana that spend their lives studying this idea. Okay. So I wanted to just give you a little pause of thought, because those of you who might say, astrology, the horoscope, that's such BS, listen, it's not. Okay. So it moves us, and we are part of it because we are part of nature. So when the full moon, hence the word lunatic, occurs, okay, there's an energy force that is being distributed both in when a full moon reaches its peak and then when a new moon comes out. So, Tatiana, pick up where you left off on the third element.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that astrology is not something that you believe in. It is something that you learn to understand. It is a language. It is the language of energy. So the last thing I was going to mention was Pluto. Pluto is in Capricorn right now. Capricorn having to do with the systems that we grew up with, tradition, and Pluto is breaking all of this up. It's going to transform it in a very deep, intense level. And it's especially because it's out at the very last degrees. And the US has reached its Pluto return.
Yes.
Yes. So all the systems are falling down. We're getting a whole new revamp of everything, but it needs to be destroyed first.
Have you noticed that everything is different in the way we work? Have you noticed that we're no longer the same in our interactions in work? That we have a hard time finding people to work because they don't want to, because they're like, I'm done with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fall into the system anymore. I'm so tired. And that's really our new generation of people, young people are coming into this, hence the millennials, right? What do we do with them? I don't know what to do with these millennials, right? We're like, these new people that are coming into this planet are saying, I'm not buying into this system, guys. I'm just not. I'm going to make my own thing happen. Okay? Isn't that true? Do you guys sense that? The thing is that we don't think about these things because we're in our daily life and we're going to the grocery store and we're driving our cars and we're going to work and we're doing our thing and we're answering our emails. But if you stop a minute to think and feel, not just think, feel the energy of what's happening. And those of us who are more sensitive than others have even a greater capacity clairvoyantly to feel these energies. Okay. And I know some of you on this call today might be saying, wow, man, she's really going down the woo-woo side big time today. Okay. And yes, I don't usually do it, but I just want you to understand and be aware that this is our truth. We came here for a purpose. We all did. We all have gifts and talents. I've talked about this. Discovering your gifts and talents is actually one of the most important things you can do in your ascension process. Okay? But it's like Tatiana's saying, you have to break something down before you can initiate the change to something new. And this breaking down of old patterns also is within us. Hence the talk about ascension and constellations. A lot of us have signed up for the constellations, and our ancestral patterns are embedded in us through our DNA, and we need to break those down in order to release the old burdens and come to a new era. So not only is this happening outside of us, it's happening inside of us. And we are being urged, pushed, maybe even shoved into coming into the awareness that everything is created from within. Everything. We've talked about this, but now you're being told like even more strongly that everything that shows up on the outside is a creation of the inside. So if you have something left that is toxic to you on the inside, it's going to come up to be dealt with. And that is what we are feeling. And like I wrote on the chat, fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be turbulent. It's going to feel like turbulence, right? Like when you've been on a plane and the pilot says, fasten your seatbelts, guys, we're going to hit a few rough patches. Okay. And each of us is going to experience these rough patches in our own unique way. And these things are actually change that is going to be alchemized for the good. But we are going to feel these changes. We're not going to be very aware of them until they're right in front of our face. Okay? And that's why I wanted to have this talk today. Because as awakened, spiritual, elevated beings, we have a responsibility to help others come into the fold. The faster we all collectively understand this, the faster we stop blaming and using victimhood as our method. And I'm not talking about ourselves, at least I'm at a stage where that doesn't exist for me anymore. I know that everything that shows up for me, I created. So you know what? I'm in a place, I've been doing my work for the past decade. Okay? Those of you who've begun to do the work in yourselves, I've even had this last week and these last 2 weeks, things that have come up for me that I still felt like, oh my God, I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware of that within me. There's got to be some work done here. So now I'm actually very clear about what I'm going to constellate on. Okay? Because there's work to be done. And what's interesting is that those of you that I get to see or speak to almost on a daily basis, like Lorinda or like Deborah that was on the call, I get to hear what's going on in their lives that is coming up to be dealt with. Okay? Intimately. And I ask you, and I'm taking a reading right now today, who wants to share anything that might be coming up for them to be dealt with? Does anybody have anything that's come up in the last couple of weeks that are making you feel like, oh, I wasn't even aware that I felt that way about that? But literally grounding physically with our bodies is one of the best ways to do this. And that literally is like go out in nature, go out to the ground, literally to the grass, take your shoes off, plant your feet on the ground and just walk around, put your feet on the ground, get in touch with nature, take deep breaths and just feel connectivity to the earth. Okay? Feel connectivity to the earth. When you do this, you literally connect vibrationally to the earth. Okay? And that helps you to feel more composed. Okay? More grounded, literally. I mean, there's a ground on our electrical outlets. Okay? So this is literal. This is energetic. Okay? Breathing, deep breathing, especially just pausing, stopping, saying, take 3 deep breaths in and out, also helps us. One thing that I use when I feel the world is very tumultuous, sometimes I will come home, and I've been with several clients going from here to there, from there to here, from meeting to meeting, from staff to I come home and I take sage. Okay. And I will literally just sage myself. Okay. I sage all around my body, all around it. And I just like stop for a moment. And that is incredibly cleansing, incredibly grounding, and just takes away anything that has vibrationally infiltrated your energetic field. Okay. The same thing can be done with nice light cologne. You know, you can put it on your hands, put it on your face, put it on your body, kind of just like get rid of anything that's energetically affected you. I use those methods for myself. Of course, meditation. I can't stress it enough. Did I say meditation? Meditation is your best friend. If you practice meditation, stop and take a 2, 3, 5-minute meditation. No big deal. Just literally just stop and do that. Okay. Prayerfulness has been the theme for the last few weeks on this beautiful chat of ours. A lot of people have needed prayer. We all need prayer. I got the message from Fatima to pray. So prayer is an amazing tool that we have in our toolbox, right? So light a candle, make a ritual out of it, put a candle on, just like if you were going to church, do it at home, and just take a moment to pray. Okay. I'm going to repost.
Hey, B,
Yes.
it's Mayra. So I was thinking about this whole Fatima thing, and you know that there's a third prophecy that has never been revealed from
Really?
Fatima. And as you're talking, yes.
Oh
So
my
there
God,
were three.
I just got goosebumps all over.
So I don't know if you're familiar with the story. There's three prophecies, right? So the third one was never revealed. So at least to us. So as you're talking about all these changes, right? And going through all these changes, I wonder if there's a relation, you know, changing from
So can you tell us
tumultuous and all that.
things that already happened?
Yeah,
The one
Maida,
of the
can you share that
Oh
with
my
us?
God, no.
Because here
I
I
will
am
have
at
to
ballet
Google.
yesterday, and Maida just came back from going to Fatima.
Please, if you could share.
I will have to read them. I think one of them was World War II, I think. Okay, so there were three secrets. I'm sorry, I'm Googling.
The one about the Pope,
first,
the one about the attack on the Pope, that there would be an assassination attempt on a Pope.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. See, I'm telling you, I got this message, but I don't know
Yes,
much
there was
about it.
three, and one of them
no,
was
the first one, they're horrible. The first one is, and this is Lucia, a great fire from under the earth, demons and souls. So it's kind of like smoke. I don't know what they made that. I don't know what that relates to in the real world. I know the second secret, it's not prophecies, it's secrets. It was the World War I will end with the prediction of World War II, right? Because I think this happened during World War One.
Yes, it
So
happened during World War I.
right, that it was going to end, but that there were going to be a second one.
right.
And then the third one, we don't know.
So there is a third secret that was not revealed, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never
But
been revealed?
I thought one of them was that there was going to be an assassination attempt on the Pope, and it was very secret. Because imagine if people found out about it, you know, probably somebody would have an assassination. And then there was one.
No, the third one, she was told by the Virgin not to reveal it.
Really? And it's never
Yes.
been revealed?
So I think it has been revealed to the church. I'm sure somebody like the Pope or somebody knows it, or the
Wow.
order, but not to the rest of us.
Wow. That's so crazy. Well, I got goosebumps as you said that. And it was really interesting that yesterday I was at ballet and Maida comes. She hadn't been to ballet for a long time. And she tells me, oh, I just went to Fatima. And I'm like, seriously? Because I really didn't know much about this. And again, I keep bringing up prayer because, and I guess prayer has been on the radar because listen, our whole chat, which is not normally so prayerful, has been requesting prayers. And I think that all of us are at a stage in our awakening and our awareness, and to the point that we can help others. Okay, we can help others with whatever gifts, whatever advice, what Eileen did with her boss, this compassion and this love that was struck in your heart on someone that you don't even like very much. And yet something hit you that you needed to do something about it. And it may seem insignificant, a small act of kindness seems insignificant, but I want you to know that the ripple effects of one small act of love and kindness is incredible. Okay, so nothing that we do in the form of love is insignificant. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit, and I want Tatiana's help again regarding all the retrogrades that are happening, because it's like retrograde season.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yes.
We have Mercury retrograde.
Yep.
It's retrograding in Libra, having to do with relationships. So we are reevaluating how we do relationships. And it's also going to dip back into Virgo. So it's how we handle our health, Um, we handle our stress, our everyday routines. So yeah, we're in the process of reevaluation, revamping.
And
all-
transformation. And Mercury has a tendency to kind of mess with technology and mess with communication. So
It
when she says that it has to do with relationships, Mercury has a way of, like, you'll say something to someone and they will receive it completely different than
Yeah.
what you, so watch your texts, guys. Read your contracts or paperwork or emails 10 times before you respond, because it has this beautiful ability to say, like, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. And then that other person is like all messed up. So be very mindful of this. And also the lunar eclipses that are happening. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, Tatiana.
I honestly haven't looked into them yet.
Okay, so there's like I said, a lot of stuff, and September, by the way, is just the beginning of this stage, which will run through the end of the year. Okay, all of the predictors out there said that from January have been saying that the culmination of this year, 2022, at the end, the last quarter, is going to challenge us with change, but the change will be painful, but it's for the better. It's transformative, but it's like that tumultuous chaos that is ushering in our new reality. And you know, when I talk about 3D and 5D worlds, right? The 3D and 5D worlds, we live in the 3D world. So think of the era of the 3D world in which we are witnessing war, witnessing bad news, witnessing all of these things. What I ask you all to do is to witness it, but with a sense of boundary. Like, yes, that's out there, but that's not my reality. You understand? And I think all of us are in a state of being that we look around us and we feel very blessed and grateful for our realities. Do we not? I think compared to other people that are living another type of reality, okay, our reality is pretty damn good. So staying in that state of gratitude for the creation that we've made and taking responsibility and staying in a place of no guilt. Like we feel good about where we are, because the more good we feel, the better we can help others. This is the state of being that we need to get into. And when you find yourself that you kind of like get into the riptide of the tumultuous world out there, because it happens. It's happened to me this last 2 weeks. I felt like I was like, oh, hold on, I'm not ready for this. Okay. And I had to get myself back together. I had to grab my practices really strongly and say, no, I am in control of my reality. I'm in a good place. I stay in my heart. Okay. I stay in my heart at all times. And this is what we're being challenged to do. But I guarantee you that anything that you need to deal with internally in your relationships, by the way, because that comes up a lot with Mercury, anything that you need to deal with, like in Eileen, believe it or not, it's her boss. In Leslie's life, it's her stepson, right? So these people are going to come in with their issues, and you're going to need to put up a healthy boundary, stay very grounded in your own vibration. In other words, not let yourself be caught in the current of their riptide. You see the action here? So when things come around you, which they will, it's kind of like sharks are swimming around your boat. Okay, but you're in the boat and your boat is steady and it's well anchored, and you need to stay well anchored. You get it? So you need to use your practices, the things that you've learned to do to help you stay in a good place so that you can deal with the sharks, okay, in a good way. That's what's happening. And anything that comes up around that, anything that comes up within you too, to be dealt with, is going to need to be dealt with. Okay. Hence all of the constellations that we're going to be doing very soon. Yes, Tatiana.
Yeah, just wanted to mention another way to ground if you're not able to go outside physically. There's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So you use your senses. So it's like 5 things you can see, 4 things I think you can touch, 3 things you can smell, so on and so forth, right?
Oh,
So
I like that.
it's being in the here and the now. It's observing what's around you physically.
I love that. I love that. So observing 5 things that are, let's say, beautiful, right? Saying, look at this gorgeous tree that I see. Look at this beautiful blue sky, right? That kind of thing. I feel that, yes. So remember that what we focus on expands. Okay? Remember that what we focus on expands, always. This is a very basic tool for being in the present. Okay? When you focus on something, it expands. So when you focus on beauty, it expands. When you focus on love, it expands. When you focus on gratitude, abundance comes, right? So this is your tool. Your tool is always about what I focus on brings that reality to me. Okay? So make sure your focus is not on the daily negative news. Okay? Make sure your focus is always on the things that are beautiful and abundant and rich in your life. Okay? And as we do that, we become experts at maintaining our vibration. I looked up my notes from the 5 stages of awakening. And I'm going to read one of them. And I'm also going to read a prayer that I had created and that I had shared. And I'm going to share these again so that you can refresh your memories. Okay? Because again, you know, we're all a work in progress, guys. This is a work in progress. We're never going to be finished with this ascension process. Okay? We're just going to climb up the ladder together, little by little, little by little. And as we climb up this ladder, it's kind of like when you take that first step, it feels a little wobbly. But once you put your other foot on the ladder, what happens to you? Oh, wait a minute, I'm stable here, right? I found my landing. Okay, so we're going to climb up this ladder little by little and stabilize ourselves at the next level up, the next tier up. Okay, those of you who practice meditation, like Anna's with us, Anna does her part in serving so many people every Friday morning in such gratitude. She teaches these tools every time, the meditation, the journaling, the affirmations, all of these beautiful tools that she teaches to be able to keep us in that stability that we all need, okay, in these tumultuous times. So steady up our practices, keep doing them, and the further along you get on this rung of the ladder, the easier you will be stable to pull someone else from below you, okay? Because that's what we're here to do. So grounding, by the way, the 5 stages of awakening that I went through at that time, 2 years ago, okay, was number 1, the wake-up call. All of you have gotten the wake-up call. If not, you wouldn't be on this call. Okay. So all of you got the wake up call. All right. And you should feel very, very good and proud of yourself to have, number one, woken up. Okay. Number two is bliss. Number two is when you got the wake up call and you realized, oh my God, I'm so much bigger than I thought I was. I'm connected to something greater and grander and bigger than anything that I could possibly experience. And there is the bliss of understanding that we're much greater than just ourselves. Okay. Number three, and some of us get stuck here, the dark night of the soul. When we recognize that we're awake, that we are responsible for everything we create, we can have a moment, like Eileen was mentioning, of darkness, of depression, as we deal with the toxic traumas that have been part of our lives. And we have to deal with them. It's not like they're going to go away. They're going to be there for you until you're ready to grab them and purge them. Okay? And anything that's left inside of there that needs to be handled is going to come up to show you it exists. That's just the way that it is. And what we have to do with that is use our practices, but accept them, love them away, because you cannot, like I've said before, change something with the energy with which it was created. So if something was created in anger, we have to love it away. That's just the way it works. Okay? And that's the dark night. Some of us get stuck there. Okay? And those of us that do get stuck there, anyone else around us that can help us bring us out of the dark night and shed light, this is the shadow work that we've talked about in this call. The shadow work has to get done, guys. So I want to stop for a minute and tell you what I've realized with this moment in time. As the solar flares, imagine the sun has come up and brightens everything up, right? So what do you see when everything is well lit? Okay, you notice the crap, right? When it's kind of nice and dark, maybe that little mierda that was over there, you don't see it too much, right? But when it's lit, you see it. So you got to clean it, right? Haven't you ever had your kitchen counter, right? Like at night when you cleaned it, right before you went to bed, it looked perfectly fine. You got up in the morning in the light of day and you're like, oh my God, I missed 10 spots. Look at this, it's disgusting, right? That's what's going on. Does that make sense? Okay, so we need to clean up, clean up, clean up. It's the only way to get out of the dark night. Okay, then we go into what's called the void or the gap. Okay, it's a stage when you feel slightly unplugged. And this is how I felt earlier this month. Okay, I felt a bit disconnected, unplugged, losing my ground. And I had to deal with it. It didn't last long. It was like a couple of days where I felt off kilter, you know? And I was like, okay, I get it. I'm gonna just, do my work. And I'm much better now. I feel much more grounded. And then 5 is grounding. Okay, this is the stage where we stabilize ourselves in a vibration that is steady. When we feel that no matter what comes in at us from the outside, our inside is holding firm. Make sense? Holding firm inside. We don't wobble back and forth as much. We don't go up and down the emotional roller coaster ride that we're like, oh, this is wonderful. Oh, this is pretty crappy. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, this is pretty crap. We're kind of like in the middle, like, oh, okay, I can see that going on over there. Oh, yeah, this is kind of cool. All right, I'm okay, right? Or like we're observing people on the outside and we're saying, man, that person has a temper. Whew, I'm glad I'm not them, right? That kind of thing. And then number 6, which is the most important one, is life purpose and mission. I feel personally that after 2.5 years of doing this and observing and witnessing all of you, that this is the stage you guys are in. This is it. Life, purpose, and mission. Most of you are already on that platform. And you should feel incredibly great about that. I know you may be saying, no, I don't know, but I do know. If you're not there already, you're on the verge of it. And this is the stage we're all striving to arrive at. By now, we know who we are and why and what we came here for. Even if we still feel the wealth of all of our emotions, we are fully committed to life. Are you fully committed to life? The good, the bad, and the ugly? Yes, all of it, because all of it is God. All of it is good. We walk with deep purpose and meaning. This stage is meant to last a lifetime, and you continually explore it as if it is the grandest adventure that you have or could have imagined for yourself. That's the stage we're striving for. And we're there. We're doing the work. It's not easy sometimes. It's kind of like exercise, right, Meech? You don't get a bicep on the first time you lift the weight, okay? You got to do it over and over and over. And then maybe if you're lucky, after a few months, you start feeling a little different and it starts looking a little better. It's a practice, guys. It's a practice. So be patient with yourselves. Know that once in a while you're going to wobble off your good vibe and you got to reel yourself back in. But if we do it with conscientious reality, understanding that we create from the inside out and not from the outside in. Remember, everything is an inside job. Everything. Okay? So I hope that all of you are riding this wave with the adventurous energy that we'll need. I challenge all of you to reach out to each other like you have on this chat. I'm amazed at how much beautiful work occurs, how much great healing energy is transferred to anyone that needs it, how willingly you all are to jump on that. It just thrills me that I'm made and I'm witnessing part of this community that we have all created together. It's not me. Somehow all of you have found your way into this amazing group. Okay? And it's beautiful to watch. I'm privileged to somehow be the leader of it. and I'm gonna, like I said, I can't believe it's been almost 2.5 years since we've been doing this together. So keep doing the work. When you get a little lost, call one of our friends here. Ask for help, because all of you are meant to help each and every one do it. Okay? Thank you all for coming back on with me on Sunday. I miss those that weren't able to get on, but I know that they catch up on a recording, and we've got a lot of new people like Grace that she's not on today. Meech, I don't know. She's sleeping. Yes. So thank you for, I mean, it's been, my sister and I have been trying to get Grace on forever. And to think that we were able to help her with our prayers makes me very happy. So we're going to get her out of her dark night of the soul. Okay. And this is what we're meant to do. Thank you for joining me. Keep doing the work. Handle your ascension symptoms and laugh at them versus hurt them. Okay. Thank you. Namaste.